we are doing principle of accelerator. Okay, here we are looking at, okay, how this demand for capital goods arises. Okay, so here when we are looking at demand of capital goods, the initial formulation that we have, okay, it said that demand for capital goods, okay, or change in capital goods, why we are producing more capital goods, is derived from your demand for consumption goods. Okay, then there is a later on there is a formulation, okay, that is developed that says that this demand for capital goods or increase in capital goods that happened, okay, it happened due to any direct demand for national output. Okay, so when there is an increase in national output, there is an increase in demand for goods. Okay, as a result, more capital goods will be produced in order to produce those goods. Okay, this is what accelerator principle is saying. So it is developed, okay, in the 1970 by J.M. Cunard. Okay, let me check this. Yeah, J.M. Cunard in 1970. He has presented systematic formulation of this simple accelerator principle. Okay, there are earlier version also, but systematic accelerator principle, okay, has been presented by J.M. Cunard in 1970 before Keynes multiplier. Okay, in the Keynes multiplier, okay, that we have done, we have seen that when your investment increases, income increases by multiplier time change in investment expenditure. And multiplier, when you know, multiplier is denoted by alpha, 1 over 1 minus c delta. Okay. Now here, in the case of principle of accelerator, we are saying quite opposite of what multiplier has said. Okay. Here we are saying when your demand for national output increases, okay, it causes increase in demand for capital stock. Why? Because there is some optimum or desired level of capital stock associated with output level. Okay, so in order to produce higher output level, producer or firm have some optimum level or desired level of capital stock. So when there is an increase in national income, okay, demand will automatically increase, that is associated with this increase in income. Okay, as a result, there will be increase in optimum or desired level of capital stock. So demand for capital stock will increase. Okay, so formulation has been developed in the 1970, but it became popular later. After Keynes' general theory of economic interest and money, it became more popular. Okay, and this accelerator principle has been used by Hicks, Samuelson, Harrow, and others. Okay, in order to discuss about trade cycle or business cycle, you can say, and they also discuss about economic growth. Okay, so in the economic growth that we will be doing in 6th semester, Harrow had used accelerator principle. Okay, where he has extended the Keynes short-term framework, okay, in the long-run analysis, okay, in a dynamic framework. So Keynes has not considered this one, okay, but later on other economists have adopted the accelerator principle and tried to look at the volatility in investment and how it is affecting, okay, output and economic determination in the economy. Okay, there are two versions of this accelerator principle that we have. In the one version that I have discussed just now, that your demand for capital goods, okay, it directly derived from your demand for consumption goods. Okay, and this formulation of accelerator principle is given by Samuelson and others. Okay, they have given the formulation that this accelerator principle is based on the fact that demand for capital goods derived from demand for consumption goods. Okay, so demand for consumption goods will be some proportion, say beta proportion of your demand of capital goods. Okay, and I know investment is what? Change in capital in stock. Okay, here I am taking net investment. I am taking change in investment. This is presenting my net investment. I will develop this part. No need to worry. Okay. So according to Samuelson and others, okay, accelerator principle is based on the fact that demand for capital goods, it derived directly from demand for consumption goods. Okay, when consumption good demand increases, okay, firm would like to produce more consumption goods, so they will demand more capital goods, so more investment will take place, so net investment will increase. Okay, there is other formulation by Hicks Okay, and he has considered the broader combination where demand for capital goods, okay, not only derived from consumption goods alone, but from any direct demand for national output. Okay, so when your national output increases, your demand for these capital goods increases by some new proportion. Okay, this is Greek alphabet and it is new. Okay, this I have written V for V, but in Greek alphabet it is told new. Okay, some new proportion of your increase in output. Okay, so demand for capital goods increases by some proportion of your increase in national output. Okay, now if you look at consumption and here income, okay, whether you take consumption or you take income, okay, other part remain is saving, that is residually determined. Okay, so there is not much difference between these two determination. Okay, your beta and V accelerator, this is called accelerator, remains the same. Okay, beta and V remains the same, because once you are taking consumption, okay, demand for consumption goods increases. Okay, that it will create more demand for your capital goods by some beta proportion. Is same as saying that when your demand for national output increases, okay, is created demand for investment good by some new proportion. Okay, so it is residually defined. The other component of the income level is residually defined. Okay, if one part is defined, other part is automatically defined. Okay, this we have done when we are talking about classical case. That part we have done. Okay, so there is not much difference between beta and nu. Okay, now in the Higgs formulation, okay, this is net investment. Okay, so net investment equation, this equation we can represent as investment, net investment. I write IN, okay, in time period t equal to nu yt minus yt minus 1. Okay, this is what I am going to write. So in the Higgs formulation, okay, our net investment is represented by V that we said, or nu you can say yt minus 1. Okay, in the Samuelson formulation, net investment is INT, that means net investment in period t equal to beta times CT minus 1. Okay, as a customary fact, okay, what we do is that we are taking this version of accelerator. Okay, so this version we are not considering because this is representing more broader version. Okay, so we explain the accelerator principle by using this final output formulation. Okay, so first I am going to look at simple accelerator principle, or you can say fixed accelerator principle. In the case of fixed accelerator principle, okay, this net investment, okay, net investment in period t depend on your change in level of income. Okay, this I have derived just now in the Higgs formulation. What I have shown you that your net investment, okay, is some new proportion of your change in income. Okay, in the fixed accelerator principle, what we are looking at? We are looking at your net investment in period t depend on your change in the level of income. Okay, and this word accelerator that we are using, it is associated with accelerator of production. Okay, so when there is an increase in demand for national output, okay, we have to accelerate the production. Okay, in order to accelerate the production, I need to increase the capital in stock. Okay, so if I have a higher level of output, my desired level of capital in stock will be higher. Okay, so firm will adjust their capital in stock. Okay? This is the basic argument of accelerator principle. Okay, this accelerator principle therefore is concerned with the size of desired optimum capital in stock. Okay, it is not concerned with the investment. It is mainly concerned with the size of desired or optimum level of capital in stock. Okay, now what is the reasoning behind that? Okay, so okay, in the economy, consider on the producer that we have in the economy, okay, they have a notion of captain stock, notion of desired captain stock, desired or optimum you can say. Okay, so in order to produce output, they have some desired or optimum captain stock. Let's denote this by this desired. I write D, desired captain stock in period T. Okay, so in every period they have some notion of optimum or desired captain stock which depend on the level of output in that period. Okay, so what they will do, they will always adjust their captain stock, actual captain stock that they have to the optimum level. Okay, so they have a certain captain stock. When national income increases or output increases, demand for captain stock increases because they have notion of certain desired optimum level of captain stock. Okay, so every period what they will do, when national income increases, they will always adjust actual captain stock to optimum level. Okay, so your optimum captain stock or desired captain stock in period Q, okay, depend on your level of output, level of output in period T. Okay, according to this fixed accelerator principle, this desired level of capital stock in period T, okay, depend on your level of output in period T, and it will be some constant proportion. Okay, let this constant proportion be nu. Okay, so your desired level of capital stock will be some new proportion of your output level. Okay, and it is positively related with your output level. Higher the output level, higher will be the desired level of capital stock. Okay, this is the basic argument that you have in the fixed accelerator principle. Okay, now I am going to develop this model based on the assumption. Okay, and then we will see what this model is saying. Okay, so first thing that I have finished is that my desired level of capital stock in period T will be some new proportion of your output level in the economy. Okay, now when I am talking about adjustment of this desired capital stock to actual capital stock, time period is important. Okay, so in the fixed accelerator principle, okay, what Hicks is saying is that this desired level of capital stock, okay, will adjust to actual level of capital stock in the same period. Okay, so the discrepancy between your actual capital stock KT and your desired capital stock, okay, will be adjusted in the same period. Okay, so in the period T, both will be same. Okay, so suppose in 2021 I have desired capital stock of certain level. Okay, that capital stock is same adjusted in the same period. Okay, that means capital goods industry have capacity to produce that much of capital stock what is desired. Okay, now consider these two formulation that we have. Desired capital stock that economy have, that producer have notion, will be some proportion, new proportion of your output level. Okay, and in every period, whatever discrepancy that I have between desired capital stock and actual capital stock will be settled. Okay, so I can equate these two and can write that my actual capital stock will be some proportion of your output level. Okay, my actual capital stock will be some proportion of my output level. Okay, that means what? Capital output ratio in period T is constant, and this constant is given by this accelerator V. Okay, capital output ratio is constant. When ratio is constant, it will be equal to its marginal. That means delta K over delta Y will be constant. Okay, this part here I will do one numerical that this will be more clear. Okay, so let me recapitulate what I am saying. Okay, so in the fixed accelerator principle we are saying that producer have certain notion of desired capital stock depending on the level of output. Okay, change in the level of output. So your desired level of capital stock will be some new proportion of your output level. Okay, if there is any discrepancy between desired capital stock and actual capital stock, okay, it will be removed or it will be taken care of in the same period. So in the period T, my desired capital stock will adjust to actual capital stock. Okay, so given these two equations, I can write that my actual capital stock will be some proportion of my level of output. Okay, or you can say my desired capital or my actual capital stock, okay, depend on your level of output. When your output increases, actual capital stock increases in the same period. Okay, this ratio is constant. Capital output ratio is constant. Okay, that means there is a proportional relationship between capital and output. Marginal term will also be the same. Okay, other assumptions are, this is third assumption, based on these two facts. First assumption is that there is no idle capacity. That means capacity is fully utilized. If the consumption goods industry is not utilizing its capacity fully, they have idle capacity. If there is an increase in demand, okay, through national increase in your demand for national output, okay, so firm have idle capacity, they can produce more, and there will be no increase in net investment. So another assumption is there is no idle capacity. Okay. Next assumption is resources are available easily. Resources are available easily, and there is an elastic supply of credit and capital. That means our capital goods industry don't have constraint. If there is a demand for capital goods, elastic supply, okay, it can be supplied easily. That is why adjustment is taking in the same period. Okay, credit, there is easy availability of credit. Okay, if firm or producer want to have credit to get capital, because the upfront cost of capital is high, they can easily get the credit. Capital goods industry, there is no constant. Okay, they are ready to supply the capital if there is a demand. Okay, so resources are available easily, and we have elastic supply of credit and capital. Okay, then increase in demand is permanent. Okay, if there is an increase in demand for national output, that increase in demand for national output is permanent. Okay, if there is a temporary increase in demand, then what firm will do? Firm can use the existing capacity to produce more. Okay, so firm, in other words, we want to say that firm can accurately measure demand, whether the increase in demand is permanent or not. Okay, next 5, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, what they are saying that when there is a increase in net investment due to change in output, the adjustment will take place instantly. Okay, instantaneous change, or there will be immediate change. Okay, so investment will increase, net investment, and adjust immediately. Okay, at the same time due to increase in demand for national output. In other words, you can say that there is no time lag. Okay, there is no time lag in form. When demand for national output increases, investment, net investment increases and adjusts accordingly. Okay, these are the assumptions that we have. Let's look at the model. Okay, I love this part. These are the bookkeeping part. Now coming to the explanation part. Okay, so in the accelerator principle, okay, what we have said, the desired level of capital stock, okay, will be some new proportion of your output level. Okay, second thing we are saying that your capital stock adjusts to desired level in the same period. So we have these two things. Then for period 2 we can write this one. In period T, actual capital stock is some proportion of your output level. Okay, similarly for period T minus 1, KT minus 1 will be equal to some proportion of your output of that previous level. Okay, now taking 1 and 2 together, we can write KT minus 1 equal to new will be common, YT minus 1. Okay, this is what? This is change in capital stock. Okay, and change in capital stock is your investment, and we are considering net investment. Okay, so this is your net investment. Net investment in period T. For net, I have written N here. Okay, so I can write net investment in period T equal to your accelerator, this B component, YT minus 1. Okay, This I can write in this way: change in output in period T. Okay, so net investment in period T, okay, depend on your change in output level. This is the statement that we have started, that in the fixed accelerator principle, net investment, okay, in the economy depend on your change in the level of output, okay, and that will be some constant proportion of your change in the level of output, and this V is giving us accelerator, okay, accelerator. How we can define this accelerator? It is defined as ratio of change in capital stock due to change in national income level. Okay, take one example in order to understand this. Suppose machine you have, okay, and the value of machine is, or capital stock is 5 crore. Okay, and I am using this capital stock, okay, in order to produce output per year of 1 crore. Okay, so look at this equation. This is what? Change in capital stock equal to V times change in output in period T. Okay, and I told you that capital output ratio is constant, so I can write this up. KT equal is some proportion of your output level. This we have taken and derived from assumption also. Okay, so what will be my accelerator? V. What is my KT? Capital stock value is 5 crore and product output per year is 1 crore. Okay, so it will be 5. Okay, so my accelerator value is 5. If I am taking 1 year, it depends on the time period. If you take 3 months, value will be different. If you take 6 months, value will be different, because in 6 months, how much output will be produced? 0.5 crore. Okay, so the time period, okay, is not properly defined. That we come to the criticism when we will be doing it. Okay, suppose an entrepreneur we have, okay, that wish to increase output level to 1 more crore. Okay, it is producing output every year 1 crore. Now it want to produce output of 2 crore. Then by how much it has to increase capital goods stock? By 5 crore. This is saying it has to increase capital stock by 5 crore, because change in capital stock required to produce additional output is given by this V term, which is 5. Okay, this is what accelerator principle is about. Okay, this is what we have in the fixed accelerator principle. There are certain criticism of this theory. Okay, first criticism is that it has taken fixed capital output ratio. Number 1, capital output ratio is fixed. Okay, but when there is a technological advancement, this capital output ratio can change. Okay, also when you are taking capital output ratio fixed, divide both sides by n. Okay, so both ratio will remain fixed. That means capital level ratio is also fixed. Okay, when you are taking capital level ratio also fixed, okay, that means you are using fixed proportion production function. Okay, you are using capital and labor in fixed proportion. If you are required 2 units of capital and 1 unit of labor to produce 10 units of output, I cannot substitute capital for labor. Okay, but this is not correct. Okay, we have production function or isoquant. This is isoquant. Okay, isoquant like this. Okay, new classical production function that you have done in your microeconomics. Okay, so this is your isoquant of 10 units that you can produce by using different combination of capital and labor. More capital, less labor, or less capital and more labor. Okay, so when you are taking fixed capital output ratio, okay, it changes. Of course, it will change when there is a technological advancement. Technological advancement means you will require less capital to produce output. Okay. Second thing is that when you are taking capital output ratio to be fixed, that means capital labor ratio is fixed, because divide both sides by n can cancel out. Okay. Look at this part. This is fixed. Okay. That means you are using fixed proportion production function. More I will discuss about the implication of this part in economic growth theory when we will be doing. Okay. For the time being, that much is sufficient. So capital output ratio is not fixed. Okay. First criticism. Okay. Second criticism is that it is saying that resources are easily available. Okay. Resources are easily available when we are looking at one individual farm, one individual producer. Okay. If we are looking at aggregate level, if on the farm are demanding resources at the same time, okay, what will happen? Resources will have constraint. Okay. So resources are not easily available. Also, here they talk about inelastic supply of credit and capital. Okay. But when on farm, as I talked already, that when on farm are demanding credit at the same time, capital at the same time, so there will be constraint in the credit sector and capital goods sector. Okay. So inelastic supply of credit and capital not found at aggregate level. When on farm demand this thing at the same time. Okay. Here they talk about that requirement is permanent increase in demand. This is a criticism. Okay. Permanent increase in demand. So when demand will increase permanently, okay, then only firm will increase their capacity by having more of capital goods. Okay. But here also they are assuming that they can predict accurately that the increase in demand is permanent. Okay. But if there is a temporary increase in demand, okay, firm can use existing capacity, and you cannot predict permanently that that what portion of your increase in demand is permanent. Okay. So the requirement is that increase in demand is permanent. It's not always correct. It's not always whole. Okay. Because in the economy you will see that during business cycle, okay, you will see that when there is an expansion in the economy, there is a boom in the economy, okay, demand will increase temporarily. When it settle down, okay, demand will settle down, then it will start to decrease because of recession in the economy. Okay. Then here requirement is that there is no ideal capacity. If there is an ideal capacity, this accelerator principle will not work. Okay. I cannot increase capital in stock when there is an increase in output. If I have ideal capacity, more output can be produced by using the same capacity. So this accelerator will not work. Okay. So if economy is in recession, okay, this accelerator principle will not work. So in recession, there is ideal capacity. Okay. So this theory will not work when you have recession. Okay. So requirement of no ideal capacity not found during recession. Okay. Fifth criticism is that time lag. Generally, there is a time lag involved in adjustment of actual capital stock and desired capital stock. Okay. So capital goods industry require time to produce. They have capacity constant. Okay. So maybe in the period T, you will not be able to adjust your desired capital stock to the actual level. There is a time lag involved. Okay. This part we will discuss when we will be doing the flexible accelerator principle. Okay. So there is a time lag involved. Okay. That part has been discussed in the flexible accelerator principle. Okay. But this is a criticism associated with fixed accelerator principle. In the fixed accelerator principle, there is no time lag involved. Okay. Desired capital stock adjusts to actual capital stock in the same time period T. Okay. Here, they neglect the role of expectation on the part of entrepreneur. The expectation part is not introduced here. Okay. So this aspect had not been looked at. Okay. So when we look at this accelerator principle, okay, so we see that there is a limitation, certain quite specific limitation this have. Okay. But this accelerator principle, okay, is helpful in knowing how this increase in consumption or increase in demand for national output, okay, affect investment level in the economy. And this accelerator principle is showing us this fluctuation in income and output, okay, how it is happening due to fluctuation in your capital goods industry. Okay, when we are doing consumption, aggregate consumption level, we see that in the long run there is a very stable relationship between income and consumption. Okay, and our income is what? Consumption plus investment. If this is stable, okay, depending upon your economy, 50-60% of your GDP in advanced country, 80% in underdeveloped country, okay, GDP depend on your consumption. Then the volatile part is this investment part. Okay, so how we can study this investment part volatility? Through accelerator principle. Okay, so this volatility, fluctuation in income output, okay, that happened, okay, due to fluctuation in capital goods industry, we are able to see through this accelerator principle. But explanation remain unsatisfactory about the timing. Okay, because I have just shown you that what time period we required. Okay, so in the business cycle phase or trade cycle phase, there is an up turning point, or you can say upper turning point. Then you have lower turning point. Okay, when they move from recession and drought, then they will go up. Okay, so there are 2 points. Since we don't know about the turning point, okay, we don't know about the investment timing. Okay, we cannot predict that at the lower turning point when this induced investment is going to take place. Okay, when this induced investment is going to take place. Why this investment? If you remember, when we are doing investment, this investment, okay, depend on your income and rate of interest in general format. When your income increases, investment increases. That is what we are saying. Income increases, when national income increases, demand for additional capital stock increases. Okay. So when you are at a lower turning point, okay, we don't know that this induced investment is going to take place or not. Okay, so this accelerator principle, okay, explain the upper turning point. Okay, when you are having expansion in the economy, growth in the economy, able to explain the upper turning point in the trade cycle. But lower turning point, okay, it is not able to explain this part. Okay, so this is the serious limitation that we have. But later on, what has been done is that I have worked out, okay, super multiplier. Okay. In the super multiplier, this accelerator principle is interacted with multiplier, okay, and it has been useful in order to understand the fluctuation that we observe in the world of investment spending. Okay, how there is a fluctuation in investment spending, okay, we are able to understand by using super multiplier. So the limitation that we have, because this accelerator principle is inadequate in itself, because we don't know about the timing of investment, okay, explanation remain unsatisfactory. So when we combine this accelerator with multiplier, okay, that we call super multiplier, okay, we get fluctuation, okay, that is observed in the real world in investment spending. This super multiplier I will be doing tomorrow. Okay, let's look at flexible accelerator principle. It will be neat extension of this one. So in the flexible accelerator principle, what they have done, they have removed some of the rigid assumption that we have in the fixed accelerator principle or simple accelerator principle. Okay, they have taken time lag. Okay, time lag in filling the gap between desired capital stock and your actual capital stock. Okay, actual capital stock in period T minus 1. This is the capital stock that we have. This is my desired capital stock in period T. Okay, so what here they are doing? Okay, they have removed some of the rigidity that we have. Okay, it allow a time lag in filling the gap between your desired capital stock in period T, and this is the actual capital stock that you have in period T minus 1. Okay, so in period T, what firm will do? Okay, they will adjust, okay, one year fraction, say lambda, one year fraction of desired capital stock, okay, and they will procure one year fraction of this desired capital stock. So KT minus KT minus 1 in period T, you will only adjust a fraction of this capital stock, change in capital stock, and that fraction is lambda, that lies between 0 and 1. Okay, KTD minus KT minus 1. Okay, so you will adjust only fraction of your capital stock. Okay, we have discussed already what is this desired capital stock. It is some proportion of your output level. Okay, and this is net investment. So net investment in period T will be lambda times it is some proportion new proportion of your output is kt minus 1. Okay, this is what we have in the Flexible accelerator principle. So Flexible and accelerator principle are now for partial adjustment, okay, between your desired capital stock and actual capital stock. Okay, here we don't have immediate changes. Okay, they are now for that. It can take 2 year, 3 year period. Okay, that model will be needing the extension. We no need to do it. Okay, but the basic principle remain the same. Okay, that we have followed in the fixed accelerator principle. Okay, this is what we have.